Hello YouTubers, welcome to Toolworks. Today we're going to be working on a 2009 Dodge Caliber. We're going to be changing one of the back shocks on it. I just got the vehicle inspected and it needs a couple of things. One of them is it needs the shocks. So I'm going to get started on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the camera over here and I'm going to break out the jack and see if we can get this jacked up, get that tire off of it. Here we go. As always, I'm not a professional. I'm just trying to fix this car up so I can get it inspected. I've already sold it to someone. Just got to get this, these things taken care of. So I'm just basically just showing you what I'm doing to my car. First thing, of course, you got to do is jack it up. Got to put a jack stand under it. I have one on the other side. Get one over here. Okay, I have better jack stands than this, but I have them tied up right now on them other vehicles I'm working on. Let's see here. So this will work. I prefer the other ones. I see them do a test on these jack stands, and this particular jack stand is not quite as good as the other ones. Although they do hold up well, just not as good. Alright, let's see if we can get you over here a little closer. Take those lug nuts off of there. Alright, we'll get started here. Tricky part is we got to find the socket that fits these lugs. And I don't think that's it. That's not it. Alright, so we got to find the one that does. Yep, so not quite the right size. 18, so probably a 19. You buy these socket sets and you think that they have all the sockets you need, and then you find out they don't. So, they didn't have the 19, so I have to use a 3/4. Quite strong enough. Find out if I'm going to be able to get that off of there with this. Gotta do what you gotta do. I don't have a breaker bar. They were definitely on there, that's for sure. Okay, I think we got them. I believe it's supposed to be 80 to 90 foot-pounds for putting a lug nut on. Anything beyond that, you're taking a chance on breaking your lug stud. what I like to do myself personally is, I got the jack stand, but I also like to put this underneath the body of the vehicle. As I've said in my other videos. So I just lay it down there and slide it under. Just in case. A little extra safety. You don't have to do it. And again, I don't know the professional way. Of course, I guess working on the ground isn't exactly what you call professional. All right, so we got to get this shock out of there. And let's see here, see if I have the right socket for that. And the right wrench. Need a wrench and a socket. 18 millimeter, I believe, is what it is. Let's see. Yep, that's it. All right. There's one nut. Oh, let's see. Besides the nut that's working on this thing. All right, let's see. Yep, here's the other one. Nope, that's not it. Hold on. Where's that here? I know there's another one up. Right there it is. Okay. So you got to take the bottom bolt off the shock here. You can see the bottom bolt there. Let me get you a good look at this thing. So here's the bottom bolt. So you got to take the nut off that, because that bolt's got to come out and take this bottom part of the shock off. Also, this nut here I have found has to come off because you'll see in a little bit the way this thing is designed. This part here has to drop down in order to get this section here out of there. It sticks up about that high. So in order to get that out of there, you have to drop this thing way down. And so once you take this bolt out, then you'll be able to pry it down and get this whole shock up out of there. All right, so let's get that. Let's get the next nut on there. See if we can get that one off of there. All right. I tell you, if you could afford yourself one of these impacts, I think you'd do yourself well. Sure does take the work out of it. All right, now that particular one, I'm gonna leave the nut on there because I'm gonna use that to knock that thing out of there with a hammer. Again, I'm not a professional. I don't know exactly how you're supposed to do this. Now on this one down here, it's got a little piece that sticks out, but I'm gonna just bang on that to knock it out. Okay, first thing probably before I do this is I'm gonna jack this up just a little bit. So let's give my little jack out. I have found another thing too. It's also good to have a couple of jacks around. I had 3 of them, but I ruined one. Put a little too much weight on it. So now I'm down to 2. But if I broke one, I have to go buy another one because so many times this has come in handy for this kind of stuff. All right, so there we go. All right, now get my hammer. A while back, I bought myself a little shorty hammer. If you can see it here, it's just a little shorty, I guess you call it a sledgehammer, I'm not sure. Sure does work good for these little confined spaces. All right, so we got that one. All right, so that one there is a little bit different. Probably have to let that thing down. Let's see here. All right, let me see if this will just unscrew. I don't know if it will or not. Yeah, that one's got some tighten on it. Let's see. Drop it down, see what we get. See if we get anything better off. There we go. All right, so it does pop up a little bit as you saw, so be aware of that. It does pop up a little bit right there. Releases that pressure. Because see, the shock hangs down a little bit here now, as you can see. And then we got 2 bolts up top that we got to take off. 2 nuts up top we have to take off. But again, to get this out of here, you can't just pull it out. When they designed this, I don't think it was a very good design. So what I have to do is I have to get this bolt off, pry this thing down. The problem is, I don't know if you can see it there. There's these sway bar end links right here. Well, these sway bar end links are right in the way. They keep this thing from dropping down. I've tried on the other side when I did it, I tried to pry it down. I couldn't pry it enough to get it down, so these have to come off. The problem is these threads are extremely rusted. And so I tried, I couldn't do it. I couldn't get it to come off. So I ended up having to cut it off there. So what I'm gonna try to do in a minute, let's see, is see if I can loosen those up. Let me see what size they are. That's definitely not it. Let's see, gotta find my wrenches. Let's try this one. This is a 15. I think it might be, where we're at here. Might be it. Yeah, that's it. All right, so let me try, get a 15 millimeter socket. Let me wire brush that, spray it down. I sprayed it last night, but it seems to have evaporated. So I like the wire brushing, helps to get some of that crud off there. And we'll hit it with a shot of this. Okay. Yeah. I don't know if that's going to come off or not. Let me try this other one here too. So what I ended up having to do, when I bought these shocks, I didn't pay really a whole lot for them. They came with the spring and everything on them. There's a kit that you can get where it's the shock, and it's this this sway bar end link. I guess because they realized, since I didn't know, because I hadn't worked on these before, they knew that you're going to have to take that off, and knew most likely they were going to be rusted, and you're going to have to cut them off. You're going to have to ruin them to get them off of there. So there's a kit, and you pay almost as much for the kit as you pay for just the shocks. So it would just do you well, just at least on eBay, where I get my stuff from for the most part. Almost do you better just to go ahead and get both. All right, let's see here. It's got an Allen wrench hole there. I got to find my Allen wrench and see if I can get an Allen wrench that might help me. All right, so I found them. Now let's see if I can get one of them to go in there. And even if I get to go in there, I gotta try to, hopefully it won't strip. All right, let's see. I don't think it's it. Let's try this one. Okay, it seems like it goes in. Alright, let's see. Turned it. That's good. If it comes off, it'll amaze me. The other side I had to cut off. It wouldn't come off. It got to a certain point and got so tight I couldn't get it off. I assume it'll be the same with this. It just gets so far, all that rust, it just can't do it. All right. I wonder if I can, if that's enough to get, not enough to get my saw in there yet though. All right, let's see. Let me get my socket and see if that'll work. What was it again? 15. All right. Says I have a 15. Let's see. 15, sure enough. Well, hopefully that'll do it. Can't guarantee because I noticed that it strips inside the thing. Nope, don't do it. All right. Yeah, it's these kind of things that really just kind of hold you up. Try it some more if I can get it enough. I can get that saw blade in there. It just will not go. Nope. Well, let's see. They're back off. Where my sawzall go? I'm gonna grab my sawzall. See if we can get in there and cut that off. I don't know if I'll be able to get it in there or not. Kind of a backwards thing there. Well, once we get, at least I can just cut that rod off. Might want to jack this up maybe. Might want to jack that up, put a little pressure on it so it's going to come flying down. Just in case. All right, there we go. All right, got it cut off. I'll at least let it drop down. I still have to take it off, which is going to be difficult, but once I get this shock out of there, it'll make a lot more room there for me. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, that's not coming out. All right, try to take the thing to the other side. Let's see what we got here. All right. This is why they make multiple tools. It seems like every time I work on something, I need to pull all my tools out. Somehow we have to jack something up, let something down. I'm not sure what. I'll tell you what I do a lot of times is on these particular type of things, so the nut comes off. If you bang on, if you take this nut off and you bang on the thread, you'll ruin them. You put the nut on it and get it close to the end, and then you bang on it. Usually don't hurt it. Being difficult, the other side wasn't difficult coming out of there. Definitely must be rusted in. All right, let's try something else. Let that down. Let's see if we can get just the edge of this thing. Maybe that will do it, I don't know. difficult. That's the way they work. You get one, the other side came off easy. This one, no. Well, it turns easier that way now. So that's good. Definitely rusted there somewhere. I'm not sure where. All right, let me try. All right, set this down. Try to pick up just the back of it. Pick up just right there. See if that'll work. Something's got to give eventually. All right, let's try that. Something else. Let's see if we can get Big Daddy on. I don't know if I can or not. Break out the big hammer. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Okay, still not going. Amazing. The other side came out so easy, and this one is being extremely difficult. Bang it a few times, you never know. Maybe it'll work. That one is tough. That one is tough. All right, it's gonna make me take off my coat. Starting to get ugly now. Once I start taking off the coat, it starts getting ugly. If I had my torch, my gas is out, I could heat it up. I'm sure that would help a little bit. It's still coming off, so we're still okay. That's what I was concerned with. And this is the only way to get that off. You have to get this whole piece down. I guess it's possible I could take this one, maybe, and drop it down. That might be a little more difficult. Brake lines and everything attached to it. It might be, I mean, in the end, we may have to do that. Okay, went that far. Will it come out though? Yeah, let's go. Well, Big Daddy worked. We're not all the way through yet, but Big Daddy did work, so that's good. Yep, sometimes you gotta break out the big hammer. This used to be a full size sledgehammer, and I broke the handle, so I cut it off. And it works good for stuff like this. All right, get that back over here. All right, let's see what to do with the other bolt. That's how much you want to do too, is keep track of your bolts. Which I have lost my other bolt. It's here somewhere. Alrighty, let's see if I can get that out of there. I got to get something to bang it through. Let me see what I got here. Try this screwdriver. Again, like I said, this is I'm not a professional, so I just do what works. I'm just trying to do this and show you how I do mine. Yeah, it just popped. Yeah. see if I can lay down. That might help some, maybe, if I lay down. Let's see what we got here. It seems like it's getting worse, not better. All right, need to find a straight screwdriver, I believe. Right back. All right, now. Don't tell anybody that I use these screwdrivers banging on me. They'll start telling you right away that's not right. And they'll be right. But sometimes you have to do it. At least I have found anyway. The goal to me is to get the job done. All right, so I can pry that over, but what I need is, I need to get this piece up there. Pry it up. All right, let's do that. All right, now let's, there we go. Okay. See if we can do this. The other side I use my Phillips screwdriver seemed to work better. Just for that reason. It would go all the way through there. There we go. Got it off. I don't even believe it. Coming along. All right. Now again, keep in mind, there's two different. I'm not sure if it makes a difference. This bolt has the point on it. I don't know if you can see that point. It's got a point there. That goes in the shock. The other one goes over here. Why they made them different, I don't have a clue. I just put them back the same way as they were, that's all. All right, so I'm gonna go up top and take out the bolts for the top section. Now they're inside here. I did the other side, I took the whole side off. You can see that. That was a real pain. This side, I'm gonna try not to do it. I have started loosening them up from underneath of there. I don't know if you can see that or not. So let's see if we can keep this going. I see a little wire there. All right. And I have a little ratchet wrench, which really makes this much easier. You can do it with a regular wrench, but it would be much harder. I may cut this off more. I cut that off right there. That was hung down, but it wouldn't let the wrench go. So I cut it off. In fact, I'm gonna chop that a little bit more. Goes back to, I'm not telling you this what to do. It's just how I do things. When I was looking at it, it wasn't touching the bottom. It wasn't bolted to anything. It's just there. So I don't know if it just gives us some stability right there. But that piece that goes on here is not very heavy, and it sits back here, and then it sits up front. I don't think that's going to be an issue, but I'm not recommending you do that. I'm just saying that's just what I did. See, it makes it easier to run the wrench through there without having to tear that whole side off. Of course, it's a fine thread bolt, so it's going to take forever to take it off. Okay, so that's that one. All right, now let's see if we can get to the front one. That's right here. And I'll show you that shock in a few minutes why you have to do it that way. I wish they would have designed it a little bit different. Back in the day, you took 2 bolts off the top, 2 bolts off the bottom, or 1 bolt and 1 bolt. Came right out. Now they got this big piece that sticks up, which makes it harder to get it off of there. All right, I think we're in now. Can I get my hand in there to do it? I don't know. Oh yeah, okay, good. Good, I was able to get my hand in there. Yeah, a little tight. Probably gonna as soon as I pull this last thread off, it's gonna fall. Now when I did the other side, I stuck it up in there and I had to prop it up, hold it up in there so I could get the nut on the bolt. This time it didn't go though. They give you new nuts, but I'm gonna hang on to them just until I get that on there, just in case there's any problems. All right, now we're back here again. You can see the shock hangs down. See that? All right, so what I got to do is I got to shove it down far enough. Let me show you this top section. See the top section? So see, this goes up. You got to shove it down far enough that you can get that out of there. And there we go. And then you can pick it up and pull it out. So I got it. All right, beautiful. So you can see that big old section I was talking about. Is this big top piece. I'm sure that's crucial to this the shock. But that whole thing, you see, what's at about 4 inches or so, keeps you from just pulling it straight out. You have to be able to pry it down. And that's why you got to do that extra work. All right, so that's out. They're saying the shock is bad. I'll take the word on it. Nothing I can do anyway. But one thing I did do is I took off on the other one. I took this little piece off here. If I can get it off of this one. I don't know if you're supposed to put it on the other one, but I took it off, stuck it on the new one. Okay, let me get this out of here. Okay, here's the other new one. See if we can pop it open. All right. Now, there is a right way and a wrong way to put this on. I'll show you here. First off, as it gives you instructions here, do not take this nut off that's on top of this. I'll pull this off. Do not take that nut off of there. This thing will come flying apart. It's got a lot of pressure on it. You could get seriously injured. So do not take that nut off under no circumstances, according to the manufacturer. Now, that's not my personal opinion. After reading it, it does sound like to me it would be wise to not take that off, because they say it's under a great deal of pressure because of that spring on there. See, because it's got this spring on it, right? It's a pretty heavy duty spring, so it's saying don't take that off. So I'm not going to do that. I didn't really see a need to take it off anyway, but I am going to pull this sticker off because you can't really read the sticker anyway. It's all jammed on there. It just shows an orange sticker. But what I am going to do is I'm going to put this cap back on, this rubber cap. Get that on there. I got it on last time, a little tricky. Trying to get it on there. It takes a few minutes, but it's workable. I got it on. All right, it's on. Okay, now, here's the difference in this shock. There's a certain way it has to go. Look at the end of it, you'll see just a smooth side, nice and round. The other side, though, is at an angle. And you'll see the difference when you go to put it up in there. It only fits one way. But, so you want to keep that in mind. Okay, so take the nuts off. Again, they gave you 2 new nuts. I'm just going to lay them over there. Get them ready. All right, now let's go back. Put this on from the outside. All right, here we go. All right. As you look up in here, you'll see this kind of has like a pointy thing to it, and this is round. So you know, you put the round to the back, you put the pointy to the front. I'll show you. Same on the other side. I already did the other side. So you can see the pointy out here and the rounds to the back. Now what they tell you to do, which I did on the first one, was they tell you to mark it. So I marked it here and I marked it there. I even did the same thing down here. Not that you need to do it, but I did it too. That way when I went to put it back in, I could make sure that it was the right way. Sure enough, the pointy was out here with the mark on here. So the pointy goes to the front. You can see it sort of matches that design, and the round part to the back, which matches the round part back there. All right, so we'll head back over here and go and put this shock in. All right, let's see if we can tilt this thing up a little bit for you. Let's see. Hopefully that'll be enough right there. You'll be able to see what I'm doing there. Let's see. Not sure if it's up high enough. No, it's all the way up there. All right, let me see if I can raise this up. All right, there we go. All right, now let's go and get that shock in. Again, the round part goes to the back. Oh, but forgot, you got to put the bottom in first. Bottom has to go first. Yep, push it all the way down, get it up in there, and then you can shove it up in like that. All right, now let's see here. Where'd my bolt go? Let me find my bolt. Again, the one for the shock is the one that's got the pointy end on it. Again, why? I don't have a clue. It just is that way. All right, so let's put it up in place. Got to get it lined up first here. All right, and get this thing lined up in that thing. All right, now, if I take this jack, it said you got to, at least the way I found it anyway, the best way is to just jack that thing up. You can get it up in place. Well, of course, this would help if you got that lined up there. There we go. Finally got it lined up in there. All right. Now I can go up top. I can get those nuts started up top. All right. Let's see what we got here. Let's see if we can now get it back down to where it was. All right. Where you can see it there. All right, now let's take these new nuts and see if we can get them more. See if we can get the bottom connected. All right. Trying to learn how to use these tripods, and all right, we got that. Now we got that. Got to go in. All right, that. Get the nut started on there. Beautiful, beautiful. And we're getting there, little by little. All right, so I see up here on the top, it's got an O-ring up in there, so you have to squeeze that all the way tight, probably to keep water from getting up inside the cab, the body of the vehicle. So make sure you get that good and tight. All right, now let's work on this bottom bolt here. We got to somehow figure out how to get that back up in place. That's gonna be fun. Let's see if we can jack that whole thing up. Okay. Let's see if we can jack the whole thing up. Again, we need to pick it up and then jack it. Oh. All right, let's see here. Oh, I know. Last time I did it with, trying to figure how I got that on last time, but I remember now. When you jack this up, this thing is out a little bit. I mean, it's in a little bit. You gotta pry it outward. See that? So yeah, so there we go, beautiful. Wow, this bolt is really rusted. All right. See if we can get this thing started. Let's pry it up a little bit. Get that under there. All right. Now maybe I can get this up. All right, now we're right there at the end. Now we got to get this lined up here. Okay. That, now let's see if I can pry it over. Oh, wrong one. Let's see if I can pry it over. I had to do the same thing on the other side, just so I got it lined up, and then I was able to get it in there. All right, got it through. Beautiful, beautiful. So keep that in mind when you're doing this job. Again, you may come up with a better way to do that. That's the way I found it worked on the other side. And let me hit that with some. That's the way I found it seemed like it worked best. All right, so get our tool, our trusty. Let me take this extension off. Wish I had an impact socket, but I don't. So you gotta do what I gotta do. All right, now let's get this one on. All right, there we go. Those are on. All right, now we got the bottom done. Now we gotta get that all up in there, all tightened up. Let's move back inside. As you can see, it pushed it right up in there. Good. And put a little extra tighten on there now. I do it like this. I don't know if you've ever seen this, but using 2 wrenches seems to work pretty good for me. I've done that plenty of times. I'm sure the guys you guys that are doing this or ones that are doing it, I'm sure you probably already learned that routine by now. I think I learned that from my brother. He taught me a lot of stuff on cars over the years, my older brother. After those are done, alrighty. So I believe both shocks are now on where they're supposed to be. Everything's bolted up. The only thing I have to do now is I already ordered these links right here. So I've got to wait for those links to come in. Hopefully they'll be in today. Otherwise, once you get those links in, you're probably gonna have to cut this bolt off. Maybe yours will work better, I'm not sure. Probably have to cut that bolt off of there, like I had to do on the other side. But anyway, then you get them cut off, you put the new ones on it, put it all back together, and you're good to go. Okay, well, that's it for the episode of Toolworks today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you learned something. Again, I'm not a pro, so I'm not telling you have to do it this way. It's just in hopes that when you get ready to do your job, you'll know what you're getting yourself into. And at least give you a little heads up ahead of time of what tools you might need, things you might need to do. Having 2 jacks is nice. Having an impact wrench, that's nice. Anyway, otherwise, we'll see you on the next one.